Bonjour everyone and welcome back to the Waves of Your Soul readings. I'm so excited to be doing this spring 2025 reading for all of my signs. For those of you who are new here, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you. My name is Maureen. I'm your humble French tarot reader, and today we're going to be looking at spring 2025. So March, April, and May. There's going to be a different video for all of my signs. For this reading, I have lots of fun decks I'm going to be using. All the names of the decks are going to be in the description box if I have any fellow deck goblins. And if you are, I encourage you to check out my second channel, The Waves of Your Soul, where I share with you my love for tarot and oracle cards. I encourage you for this spring reading to watch your sun, moon, and rising sign, as this will give you the most fulfilled reading, the most complete reading for you. Of course, you do you don't have to watch 3 videos, but if you feel called to, it's the way that you can get the most complete reading. And I will make sure to make a specific playlist for this spring reading so that you can find all the signs in the playlist and you can navigate between the videos a little bit easier. Before I get into the reading, I want to invite you to subscribe, and if you enjoy this reading, then the best way to support my work is to like, comment, share the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Your spring 2025 reading. Let's go. Okay, my Cancerian, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this is gonna be the reading for you for spring 2025, so March, April, and May. We're gonna be looking at what the energies are. I have this super cute spring theme tarot deck. Look at this gorgeousness. It is sparkly and colorful, and it has rainbows and Easter bunnies and butterflies and bees. It is spring eleganza. I adore it, so I'm very excited to be using this particular deck for our reading today. And I also have some pre-pulled oracle cards, which we're actually going to be starting with, as these are going to give us a few different energies. So I've not yet looked at them. We're going to discover them together. I have pulled a few cards. We have a goddess card here. We have your archetype for this season of spring. And then we have a couple of oracle cards, which we'll look at as well. So let's start with your goddess card, your divine archetype, your divine energy for this particular season. We have Hera. Ooh, I love that. She is a Greek goddess. She's the Greek goddess. She's linked to the peacock, as you can see. That's one of her symbolism. She's the wife of Zeus, and she's a powerful goddess. Okay, she doesn't play about. She doesn't play around. She's quite a serious goddess, serious energy, but she is the protector of women. She is linked to marriage, responsibility, and childbirth. Interesting. So let's see what your other archetypes and cards are, and then I'll tell you what I'm picking up for my Cancerians. So your archetype, we have the merchant. It's linked to self-worth and trade. Okay. And then for your oracle cards, we have building blocks. Okay. And the last one, unfinished symphony. Okay. First off, there's a sense of taking more responsibility and feeling like you want to build something that is going to be a foundation that's going to be sturdy and that's going to sustain you. There's a sense of taking more responsibility for your life, my Cancerians, in this springtime, and feeling called to really work on the foundations of your life. So there's a desire for working on the foundations of your life with this building block, with this merchant, and with the idea of Hera here, which, like I said, is linked to responsibility. So here we could be talking about potentially spending time working on your finances, spending time working on your home, your environment where you live. You could be focused on your career. You could be focused on your family life. What are the foundations of your life? What are the things that sustain you, and that really build you up? Everyone is going to be different. Obviously, everyone is going to have different circumstances. Is it your physical health you really want to feel like is more sturdy and that you want to feel more comfortable with, that it can sustain you feeling better in your body? Is it having a more sustainable, stable career? If you are freelance, maybe you're going to feel called to find a more stable employment. If you work for a company, maybe you're going to feel called to work for yourself because you feel like it's going to build you up more. Is it around your family life? You feel like you've not really been paying attention to your family life and you want to focus on bonding and creating like a more stable, a more nourishing family dynamic. Everyone is going to be different, like I said, but there's really a strong focus for my Cancerians to pay attention to the foundations of your life, your core values, the core areas of your life that sustain you. For some people it's their passion, some people it's their career, some people it's their family, some people it's their romantic relationship, some people it's their spirituality, some people it's their relationship to themselves, self-care, self-love, the time they spend with themselves. That's what sustains them, that's what makes them feel stable and grounded and strong in themselves. Everyone is going to be very different, but there's a sense here of focusing on the areas of your life that are really at the core of things and reprioritizing your time, your energy, your money, your investment of yourself towards things that you want to build, that you want to be as the core foundation of your life. For some of you, there's a specific project, a specific dream, a specific goal you've had for months, maybe even years, that you're finally ready to finish. I'm gonna give you an example. Someone has been writing a book for a really long time. They've been like slowly making progress. In springtime, they're finally writing the last chapter and they're ready to send it to their publisher. For someone, it's around potentially a specific project of a home renovation. They've been slowly working towards renovating a home, and in springtime they finally are doing the last touch and they're able to feel comfortable in their home that is now comfortable, that's now finished. There's something that for some of my Cancerians, you've been working towards a really long time, you were not able to finish because it was a long-term project, and finally in springtime you're able to finish that thing, close the chapter, close the book, close the file. For some of you, it could be even a certain relationship that you haven't been able to potentially leave behind. So maybe it's a breakup that's been lasting a really long time, like you haven't been able to say goodbye to that person, you haven't been able to leave that person behind, even though you feel like you are not good for each other and you want to separate, but it's been like, dragging and dragging. Maybe in springtime there's finally a resolution. For some of you, I'm even hearing potentially a divorce that's been happening for a long time, it's been dragging on, and finally in springtime there's a resolution, because I'm seeing children and family in my mind's eye. So if some of you were waiting for a resolution relating family, children, guardianship, things like that, things that take a long time, maybe I'm even hearing justice. For some of you, it's something related to a court case, a justice case, or something, paperwork you've been waiting for a long time. Finally, you can close the book, because in my mind's eye, I'm seeing someone closing the book, closing the file, closing the case, and being able to move on. So again, this is a general reading. It's going to be different for everyone, but there's an opportunity for my Cancerians to close a chapter that was dragging on for a long time, and there's a sense of relief there of being finally able to leave that behind. It started to rain a lot, and I'm in a tropical island, so when it rains, it pours. It's monsoon season, so if you can hear the rain, I'm really sorry, but hopefully it's not too distracting. I don't want to stop, otherwise I'm gonna lose my train of thought, but hopefully it won't be too annoying for you guys. It's kind of a vibe actually. It's the rain in the background. We can pretend it's like background noise. With the merchant as your archetype for my Cancerians, there is also this idea that for a lot of you, there's going to be a focus around what you give versus what you receive. You could feel called to kind of do a little bit of an inventory of the areas of your life and even the relationships in your life where you feel like you are giving more than you're receiving. And of course, there's times when we are there for people because they need support, when we are there for our friends, our family members, our colleagues, our romantic partners. They need us, they need our support, they need our care. Of course, we give them with love, and that's beautiful. But there are sometimes with certain relationships in our life where we are entering relationships and bonds where we just give, and we're not getting anything in return. I feel like my Cancerians are going to do a little bit of an inventory in their life about that, and potentially removing themselves from people who you're realizing are just taking and not really bringing anything to you in exchange. It could even be habits, not just people, but habits and patterns that you're realizing you're pouring energy into and you're not getting anything back. You're pouring energy into it, you're pouring time into it, and it's not bringing anything back apart from maybe stress, anxiety, and so you're deciding to remove yourself from situations, relationships that you feel are not even, that you feel like you're not getting a good trade, right? Because the merchant is all about trade. And we have this strong theme of self-worth with Hera and the merchant, of knowing what you bring to the table, knowing your worth, knowing your wares, right? If we take this archetype energy for my Cancerians, it's like thinking about the merchant, knowing that they are bringing wares, that they have things to sell, things to share with the world. What are your wares? What is it that you bring to the world? Your talent, your uniqueness, your light, your kindness, your intellect, your humor, your grace, your mind, your soul, your light. What do you share with the world? This is also the time for my Cancerians to take inventory of that and to realize how much you bring to the table. Some of you are selling yourself short, I'm hearing, with the merchant. You're selling yourself short. You're not giving yourself enough credit. You're selling yourself too short. You're not realizing how smart you are, how kind you are, how talented you are, how unique you are. And so you're selling yourself short. And in spring, you're deciding to remove yourself from places and people and relationships and situations that are not like valuing you for your right worth. And again, Hera can help you with that. So it's an empowering time for my Cancerians, reclaiming their worth and realizing what you bring to the table is valuable. Okay. Finally, with Hera, we have this idea of I told you she's a protector of women and of childbirth. So this is quite specific, but I could have some pregnant people here in my Cancerians who are waiting for to bring a little baby into the world. And so that could be happening in springtime, maybe around you, a friend or someone you know. There could be a birth there. I'm seeing babies. So there could be like an expansion of the family, an addition of the family with a beautiful new baby coming into the world. So that's exciting. And now let's look at your tarot cards. We're going to see what comes up with tarot. We're going to start with what should be your main goal, my Cancerians. What should be your main goal for springtime? What should be your main goal for this particular season? Let's see. We have the Queen of Cups, beautiful. Let's see what else. What should be your main goal for my Cancerian? And Judgment. Yeah, there's an inner calling for my Cancerians really to reevaluate. And again, I'm going back to this idea of take inventory of the places, habits, people, relationships, situation, experiences in your life where you feel like you're not getting an even deal between what you give and what you're getting. Maybe it's like a habit, like I said, you're pouring too much energy and it's not nourishing you. Maybe it's a relationship, a friendship. Maybe it's a job. You've been pouring so much effort into a job and you're realizing it's no longer what you want to do. Everyone, like I said, is going to be different, but with this Judgment card, there's an idea of making sure that your main goal in the springtime is reevaluating what you're giving and making sure that you're getting what you're worth, that people are valuing what you're giving, and yourself, that you're valuing yourself as well, working on your self-worth, working on what you bring to the table, realizing you're worthy of happiness, you're worthy of success, you're worthy of love. In what ways are you selling yourself short, my Cancerian? In what ways can you get over this lack of self-worth and nurture a better sense of confidence, of personal empowerment? This is going to be one of your biggest goals. This springtime is feeling more worthy in general, again, of success, of love, of whatever it is you desire, right? With the Queen of Cups as part of your main goal, this is also related to emotional well-being. So one of your main goals in this particular springtime, my Cancerians, is checking in with yourself, how you feel. How do you feel about this particular job? How do you feel about this situation? How do you feel about this past experience? How do you feel about your future? How do you feel? And checking in with yourself and making sure you're prioritizing your emotional well-being. Some of you are going to feel called to journal. Some of you are going to feel called to potentially go to speak to someone, a therapist, a counselor, and prioritize your mental well-being. Some of you are going to feel called to share something, a conversation with a friend, something that's been weighing on their mind, a heavy truth, or something that they've been wanting to share with someone they trust and they love. Some of you are going to feel called to deepen their relationship with your family, their loved one, their romantic partner. There's really a big accent on how you feel, my Cancerians, and nurturing a sense of wellness emotionally, like paying attention to your interpersonal relationship, but mostly the relationship with yourself. I'm hearing there's a big healing sense for my Cancerian around how you feel about yourself, how you feel about, again, your worthiness, your personal relationship with yourself, and reevaluating, potentially even for some of you, some of the values and the core foundations of your life, and maybe redirecting energy, realizing, you know what, I've spent too much time focusing on my career, now I want to focus on my family life. Or on the other hand, I've been focusing too much on my family life, now I want to go back to focusing on my career. I see my Cancerians also rerouting how much energy and effort they're pouring into, this idea of the foundations of their life and what they want to grow and what they want to build upon. And for a lot of you, there's a change, a rerouting of energy here that is kind of like a new translation of the person you're becoming or the person you want to be. So we're allowed to change our mind, we're allowed to have new dreams, you get to decide every single day who you want to be, nobody gets to make you feel guilty about that. And I really see my Cancerians feeling called to potentially changing how much energy you pour into different areas of your life, redirecting that, rerouting that, having new dreams, having new values, having new priorities, and just checking in with yourself how you feel about that and making sure you're doing things that make you feel fulfilled and happy. Okay, so let's have a look at what to pay attention to, my Cancerians, for this spring season. Oh, it's really raining, you guys, a lot. Okay, we have the Devil, and we have the Six of Swords. Ooh, the Devil and Six of Swords. Yep. See, this is what I mean. Some of you are really gonna decide that you want to change the way you approach different areas of your life, and you are ready to close a certain chapter and to move on. So I was giving the example of a divorce, for example, that's been happening for a long time. It's been draining you, and finally in the springtime you're able to get all the paperwork done, things are getting settled, and you're able to close that chapter and move on. I mean, this is just an example, but you get the idea. Here we have, with the Devil and the Six of Swords, we have an opportunity for my Cancerians to close a certain chapter that's been dragging you back, that's been making you feel like you've not been able to move on for ages. You're finally able to start fresh, to move on, to get a fresh new start here with this particular Six of Swords. They're moving towards the rainbow, they're moving towards a fresh start, they're giving themselves a new start, leaving the struggle behind. That's the vibe for my Cancerians. And especially with this particular Devil, which, look at this scary wasp. Ooh, I hate wasps, you guys, so this is scary to me. With this Devil card, in terms of what to pay attention to, you're really encouraged in this springtime to do this life inventory I was telling you guys about figuring out where it is you want to pour your energy into, and making sure you're pouring your energy and your time and your money and your love into places, people, and areas that sustain you, that are where there's a good equilibrium and where you're receiving as much as you're giving. Again, of course, there's time when we give to our friends and our family members more because they need care, they need our attention, they need our help. That's normal. But there are areas of our life where sometimes we're giving, and we're not getting anything in return. And that's your job, I feel like, for my Cancerians in springtime, to recognize if there's any of those areas in your life right now where you are pouring too much, where the scale is not even, and in what ways can you reroute your energy, change your energy, change how much you spend time in this area or with that person or doing this thing, and instead pouring it to things, relationships, projects that sustain you, that make you feel good, that make you feel that there's a good balance, and where you can grow, where you can build something very powerful and that can sustain you in the long run. So my Cancerians are really doing a good hard look at their life, and they're using this springtime to make sure that they're setting themselves for success by the end of the year, whether that's the relationships you want, whether that's the job you want, whether that's the physical health journey you want, or the hobbies and passions you want, whatever projects you're dreaming about and manifesting, by the end of the year, you're gonna be in a much better space because you're using this spring season. Really do this like inventory, like I've been saying, and work of rerouting and of figuring out, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is where I want to spend time, this is where I don't want to spend time, this person is good for me, this person is no longer good for me, this habit I have is nourishing me, this habit I have is no longer nourishing me. And by you doing this work, it's setting you up for success, my Cancerian. So you know what, well done, because that's not easy to do, and yet it's going to set you up for success by the end of the year, and you're really building on things that are going to sustain you in the long term, so that's amazing. Okay, let's see potential blessings for my Cancerians. Potential blessings. Page of Wands. There's a renewed sense of inspiration, creativity, passion. Some of you are feeling excited again. Some of you are feeling like you can have fun again. Some of you are feeling just a little bit more inspired about life in general. Creativity, imagination. You're getting new ideas, new desires. Maybe you're like reconnecting with hobbies, passions you had. Maybe you're just feeling excited about doing things that you love, that you kind of forgot about, and now you're picking that back up. Maybe a hobby, a passion, or something that you kind of had put on the side, and in springtime you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna make sure I get time to I don't know, read, because that makes me happy, or I'm gonna make sure I make time for going to this particular pottery class because that makes me happy, or I'm gonna make sure I get time to sew because that's what makes me happy. Like, you guys are feeling inspired, creative again, and I'm really hearing for my Cancerians, it's related to crafts, to hobbies, passions, sports, activities, fun things, whatever you guys do for fun, you're getting opportunities to do that more in springtime. Maybe it's like going for hikes, maybe it's, I don't know, going dancing. Everyone has different ways to have fun, but there's opportunities for that in springtime, opportunities to reconnect with a childlike sense of enjoyment, of playfulness, which is wonderful. That's a wonderful blessing. We love to see it. Okay, let's see now for my Cancerians. We're going to pull a little self-care message. Okay, for my Cancerians, last little self-care message. What do you need to know? Observe your conversations, Observe the conversations you engage in today. Are they productive or mean-spirited? Are they filled with gossip or stimulating information? Your goal to recognize the quality of information you feed your mind each day. Remember this idea of taking inventory of where you pour your energy, where you pour your time. This is part of that. Paying attention to how you speak to others, but I feel like for my Cancerians, it's particularly how you speak to yourself. In what ways are you speaking about yourself, speaking to yourself? Remember, one of your biggest job in springtime, my Cancerians, is to be kinder to yourself and seeing what you bring to the table, because some of you are selling yourself short. So nurturing a sense of self-worth, realizing how you speak to yourself. Maybe sometimes you're being extra critical, maybe sometimes you're being extra harsh on yourself, you're not seeing how worthy you are. So pay attention to that. That's also important in springtime, nurturing a sense of self-worth. So that's gonna be part of your homework for this spring season, my Cancerians. Okay, let's wrap it up with a little message from your guides. Ooh. We have released your worries, it will all work out for you. Yeah, I love that so much, because I did say that I feel like by the end of springtime, you're moving away. You're able to close a certain chapter, my Cancerians. You're able to finally close a chapter and start building on things that you feel happy about, that make you feel grounded, that make you feel fulfilled. There's a renewed sense of enjoyment. There's a renewed sense of enthusiasm. There's opportunities to feel more worthy, more secure in yourself. Deep and powerful time for my Cancerians, where there's opportunity for you to set yourself up, like I said, for success for the rest of the year. I think it could be a beautiful time and a powerful time, and in the end, things will work out. So I'm excited for my Cancerians. I think you guys are in for a very empowering time, and I'm excited for what's next for you, because I feel like it could be very beautiful. So I hope this reading has been bringing you something of value. I hope it resonated. I want to thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this reading, don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Those are all free ways to support my work. Every little gesture is a beautiful exchange of energy, and it really helps my channel out. So thank you so much for those of you who take the time to do that. Thank you for being here, for being present. I want to wish you a beautiful springtime ahead. I'm sending you so much good vibes and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!